back to World Crisis Radio. Now, looking again at Libya. What have the NATO forces wrought in the past week? Bombing a hospital, killing 10 people. We had Human Rights Watch reporting 3 weeks ago, about the atrocities of the rebels, and now we have mutilated bodies of pro-Gaddafi soldiers found in areas controlled by the rebels. They are obviously the results of war crimes by the Al-Qaeda terrorist rebels of Libya. And now the biggest act of historical vandalism, NATO condemning itself historically, the bombing of the great man-made river near Brega. This, as you know, is the huge $30 billion to $35 billion project for irrigation, for potable water, and other benefits. It's a 15-year project, the biggest civil engineering job in the world, the biggest development project of any kind in the world during many of those years. It means that Libya has a future. Libya will have water for the next 100 years, except if NATO bombs this critical infrastructure to hell. And it's actually self-defeating, because one of the goals of the NATO intervention is to steal precisely this water for use by other countries in the region. Maybe the Israelis are interested, or others. Water, of course, a critical resource, along with oil. This is now what Hillary Clinton and Sarkozy and Cameron and NATO and Rasmussen are supporting. This bunch of gangsters. Is it Al Capone? Is it the Purple Gang? Is it Lucky Luciano, CIA ally? That's Hifter and Jalil. Now, Yunus has gone to his reward, and maybe Jalil is not so certain on his throne. Maybe it will turn out that when the last man standing is observed, it'll be Hassadi, the former U.S. prisoner of war in Pakistan, died in the wool Al-Qaeda, and his right-hand man, Gumu, graduate of the Guantanamo Bay Training School of the U.S. Intelligence Services, and maybe Barani of the Libyan Islamic Fighting Group. Maybe these out-and-out revolver-toting gangsters will prevail. The stuff about democracy is an absolute fiction. The stuff about the protection of civilians is a bogus sham. And it looks to me like the rebels are about to collapse. We just had a Libyan rebel delegation here in Washington, D.C. I think it was Jibril saying that we're going to have singing tomorrows of civil society in Libya. Now the civility is a little bit in question after one of the top rebel honchos has been assassinated by his own rivals, in particular Hifter, alias the Antichrist. And Jalil, again, was Jalil part of the conspiracy? He may have been, and he may also be next to go. And Jibril, Hillary Clinton's boyfriend, where does he come down? Notice that this has been registered in the NATO propaganda. The NATO theme is now Gaddafi is allowed to stay. This is basically a concession of weakness. We're told on the one side that the military annihilation of Gaddafi is always a few days away, but at the same time, the negotiating posture of NATO gets weaker and weaker. Now they say Gaddafi can stay as long as he doesn't do this, that, and the other thing. Even the rebel bosses, I think it was Jibril, who said Gaddafi can stay in Libya under house arrest. Well, maybe Jibril will, maybe he will be joining Yunus soon if he continues with that, and some guy from Al-Qaeda doesn't like it. Now, in this context, here's the big change. We have Anne Marie Slaughter. This woman is from the Woodrow Wilson School at Princeton University. And her background is that she was one of the top honchos in the State Department and the National Security Council in the first year or two of the Obama regime. And she was a hawk on Libya. You may remember I've written her up in Barack H. Obama, The Unauthorized Biography. Another reason you need to buy that one. Buy Barack H. Obama, The Unauthorized Biography at Tarpley.net. And inside that you will find the story of the Slaughter Plan. Her plan for humanitarian interventions and the kind of imperialism. You're seeing a different kind of rhetorical froth than what we had with the neocons, but in many ways similar. The slaughter plan, that's Gaddafi, that's Obama's foreign policy. So this slaughter in the critical days of February and March was demanding that Obama attack Libya. It's no time for compromise, she said. It's time for attack. Obama stopped dithering. She was tweeting. She was writing. She's also got corruption charges against her, right? There's stories that she was squired around by some group. Anyway, as a government official, she probably shouldn't have done that. Here's the thing, though. FinancialTimes.com, the A-list blog. Anne-Marie Slaughter, July 28th, yesterday, as we speak to you. It's time to compromise to protect Libya's people. It is time for real compromise in Libya. And the principal reason is, our wonderful intervention was designed to protect civilians, but now we find that this is not the way to protect civilians, and so forth. I would read you the rest of the article, but the Financial Times wants an exorbitant sum to get the rest of the article. Usually these articles show up in a day or two on some site for free, so I urge you to look for it. The A-list blog, FinancialTimes.com, it's time to compromise to protect Libya's people by Anne-Marie Slaughter. This is a significant break in the entire imperialist front. This is an ideologue of these people of the First Water, right? She's probably talking to her friends Samantha Power and McFowle saying, look, cut your losses. And indeed, that would be a smart imperialist to do that. The UN mandate for Libya is not eternal. This is interesting. It looks like it's a 6-month mandate. We'll be checking this, but according to the UN Security Council Resolution 1973, the UN mandate for attacking Libya is for 6 months. Apparently expires on the 24th of September. Once the UN mandate becomes unworkable, then lots of smaller NATO countries will drop out. Not just Norway, which will be dropping out as of August 1st. The Netherlands, Italy, Canada, all kinds of countries, for their own internal reasons, find it just about impossible. Denmark, another one. A lot of countries find it just about impossible to take part in these things if there's not the UN cover story, the UN Security Council umbrella. We're told at the Pentagon they're doing high fives, that they are not out in front on this one. The Pentagon by now claims that they're only doing non-lethal, non-kinetic in Libya. The imperialists are collapsing. Time to cut your losses, liquidate this war, and get Obama for violating the War Powers Act. Back in a minute.